This is a deeper listen from KEXP, the show we talk with musicians about the thoughts and experiences that shape their music. I'm Emily Fox. And today, we're talking with London's Nilüfer Yanya about her latest album, My Method Actor.
Like I say, I run away. Some more precious time, I can never lose, it's a state of mind, no, it's coming low.
The album is mostly filled with down-tempo tracks, often featuring melancholic and dark lyrics. Here are some of those lyrics off a few different tracks.
The needle gets deeper, I'm hollow, I needed this, I need your amnesia. I'm at my worst, don't think I get. Still I can smile, it's broken, miserable. So you should pull that trigger, aim it at my liver. I'll dig my own grave, I don't give a. You know I'm not ashamed to jump in, to find a darker shade of nothing.
There's something especially captivating about Yanya's voice. Perhaps it's her deep tone that carries an unintended sultriness, or her airy upper register that's reminiscent of Sade.
Give it up, don't try to be different. She's caught in a wreck, caught in a wave.
Yanya released her debut album in 2019 called Miss Universe. It was named Best New Music from Pitchfork.
It's all in my head, it's all in my head.
She released her sophomore album in 2022 called Painless.
To you we all the flame, can't keep my mouth shut this time. It's not what it says like that.
I caught up with Yanya back in September when she released her latest record. We talked about the new music, her family story, and her thoughts around identity when she was creating these songs. But first, I asked her to refresh my memory on method acting and how that concept inspired the record and its title.
Yeah, so method acting is, well, the theory behind it is that you are no longer acting, essentially, because you have embodied the character that you're studying, and you've done a lot of work with your own memory, with understanding the character on a deeper level, so that you kind of, it's like a seamlessness. You kind of become the character and you don't have to act anymore. You just react as a normal person would. And I called one of the songs this earlier on in the process of writing the album, and it kind of just stuck with me, I think. So when it came to naming the album, I kept coming back to Method Actor. I just felt a kind of affinity with that description, with my relationship with music, performing. I don't necessarily have an alter ego or a character to become, but it's more like I'm learning how to be myself through the music.
Keeping me down, can't get one past me. Now I came here last week, just shake with laughter. My method actor, not gonna solve all my problems. I love to drown in my new costume. It's not a fault, wanna apologize for. How comes right now there's no advice for.
There's also a line in the song Faith Slate that stood out, and it's, "The colors in my hair ain't like it should be. The place you come from there, the colors in your hair. The feeling like I should belong ain't where I could be. I feel shame in the modern way."
Feels like it could be the place you come from. There, the colors in my head ain't like it should be the place you come from. There, the colors in your head. The feeling like I should be longing where I could be, and I feel shame in modern way.
Can you break down those lines for me?
It was about the feeling of belonging somewhere, but feeling like you don't belong there, necessarily could be based upon something quite surface, as even the colour of your hair, maybe not matching other people's colour of their hair, or something on the outside that really makes you feel a sense of disbelonging. I don't know if that's a word, on the inside. And I think the song is kind of about identity and that kind of ongoing search for your real identity, and kind of feeling like you don't really belong where you are even though that's kind of the only place you really belonged.
Place you come from there, the colors in my head. Ain't like it should be the place.
Is identity something that you were like thinking about for yourself while you were making this record?
Yeah, I mean, I think about it a lot. I mean, I've always lived in London. It's a very multicultural place. My family is very multicultural itself. So I feel like I've always had a kind of questioning, oh, who am I? Do I belong here? Like kind of thing. I think it's just like an ongoing topic in my head.
Yeah, because I was reading up kind of the background on your family. Like your parents are both visual artists. Your dad is Turkish. Your mom is of Irish and Barbadian descent. And I believe your parents were living in Turkey when your mom was pregnant with you. In fact,
She lived there for a bit, yeah.
For a bit, yeah. And I hear that your name is actually was inspired by a Turkish pop singer. Is
Isn't
that
that
right?
crazy?
Yeah, can you talk a little bit about what it was like, just growing up and also just like your parents' impact as you as a person and an artist, considering that they're both visual artists too,
They were very naturally encouraging of me doing art or music, and I was always kind of torn between the two. I think understanding what it kind of takes to like make it your lifestyle, even if it's or your life, regardless whether or not you become like a success or something in the mainstream. I always looked up to them because of the time they've spent on like mastering their skills basically, and the kind of sacrifice, I guess, as well, like what it takes if you want to be an artist but you also want to have a family. What does that look like? Because we kind of only see successful artists, or we only hear about successful artists that have kind of maybe neglected that side of their lives, or you only hear about they spend all their time on that work and no time for their family or their real lives. Yeah, so I think I learned a lot about discipline and balance, I think, just from being around them.
There's nothing out there for you and me. I'm going nowhere until it bleeds. I'm going nowhere. I'm going nowhere.
And I understand your previous album, Painless, was created around the time you were doing just some work looking into your family's history. What were some of the things that you were learning during that period?
Yeah, so my auntie, she has started a project called Teach Plaques, which stands for Transatlantic Corrective Historical Plaques. I think I've said that in the wrong order, but it was, so you mentioned like my grandfather, he's from Barbados. So when we were tracing back our family, well, when my cousin was tracing back our family history there, like it kind of only goes so far because people were abducted basically from Africa and taken to the Caribbean. So it only goes back to like my great grandfather, I believe. So we found the name of him, John Isaac, and we found the plantation where he was born on, because he was born enslaved, and the names of the family that had enslaved my ancestors, which is still my mother's maiden name to this day, Daniel. So she kind of uncovered a lot of this during COVID, just after the death of George Floyd. She felt very empowered to like go down that route and find out more and try and understand like how it all came to be, basically. It was kind of like it was like COVID, and I think there was a lot like going on in everyone's worlds, but then there was also like the Black Lives Matter movement that was kind of really like taking off like globally. So it was all like, happening at the same time, and it was a very introspective time, I think.
I understand that you and your sister run a project called Artists in Transit, which offers creative workshops and support for refugees. Can you tell me more about that project and the work you do with it?
Yeah, so we started this in 2016. Really, my sister kind of started it, and I was just like helping her out because I was around. But we went to Greece for the first time then and started working in like camps and squats, which are like unofficial camps, where like lots of displaced people were coming through from Syria, Afghanistan, lots of different countries, traveling via Turkey to Greece and then kind of getting stuck there because it was like the last place in Europe. I mean, the first place in Europe they'd managed to enter, but then you're kind of stopped and really not allowed to carry on your journey. So people get stuck in camps, or they spend a lot of time waiting for the documents to be processed. Some people can be stuck there like 17 years, because I think that's the average for spending time in a refugee camp, basically. So it's this idea that it's like, oh, you're only there like temporarily, but really people are there for a really long time. So yeah, she wanted to bring art workshops to children and anybody that wanted to take part, basically, as a way of connecting and showing solidarity, and also giving people a space and maybe even a voice for documenting or just making whatever they want to make.
So my final question is, KEXP, we're all about music discovery. And so we would love for you to give us a music recommendation. What's a song you think everyone should hear? Like a song that you're loving right now, or that has made an impact on you somewhere along your life?
There's a song called Crucify by Tori Amos, which I kind of discovered like the last few months. And it's so good.
What do you love about it?
Like the lyrics, the melody, everything, like it's like kind of tied up in a pop song, and it's like, that's amazing. I think when that happens, like you can have a kind of complex, like some of the lyrics are a bit dark, but it's like also like very relatable and like just like really strong.
Why do we crucify ourselves every day? I crucify myself, and nothing I do is good enough for you. I crucify myself every day. I crucify myself. My heart is sick of being, still my heart is sick of being in chains.
Well, I've been speaking with Nilüfer Yanya about her new album, Method Actor, which was released on September 13th. Congratulations on the record, and thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. Thanks for your time too. Thanks for all your support at the station.
'Cause I feel like all my friends, they don't read my mind. The minute I'm not in control, I'm tearing up inside. Fill up on the feeling, fill up on the light. If I'm falling out with you, 'cause if you could hold my hand just to feel alive in the early morning truth.
Next time on A Deeper Listen, we'll meet the Denver-based singer-songwriter Teresa Sudam. They were adopted, and it wasn't until college that they started to understand their Filipino and Native American lineage. But their new album is what helped them find their way back to these communities.
The whole premise of it is that I feel so divided between being Native Filipino and then also this, how I grew up in white suburbia. I'm like, where do I belong?
They call me lost bird, send me spiraling down a rabbit hole. It's frightening.
That's next time on A Deeper Listen. Before you go, please subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. It goes a long way in helping spread the word about this podcast for free, because KEXP, we're a publicly funded station. We don't like throwing big advertisement dollars out there. It is listener support that allows us to do what we do, with financial support, word of mouth. It all goes a long way. And if we're talking dollars, think about giving $6 a month to help support what we do on A Deeper Listen. You can donate at kexp.org/deeper. And thanks for taking a deeper listen.